The Pembrokeshire Coast National Park, as remote and rural as it gets.
This is St David's Peninsula on the southwest tip of Wales. It's a rugged and picturesque part of the world, even in midwinter. But I'm not actually here for scenic beauty. I'm here to find inner beauty.
The streets of St David's are a bit quieter in the Welsh winter, with relatively few tourists, or grockles as they're called around here.
It's such a small community. There's pretty well only one of everything. One high street, one butcher, one bank,
One bookshop, one town hall, one delicatessen.
and there's one of these.
St David's Cathedral, built in the 12th century, sits on the site of the old monastery, led by David 600 or so years ago.
And this is why St David's is a city.
Yup, this tiny community of 1,800 people is officially a city. Britain's smallest and supposedly the second tiniest in the world. Although in the 19th century there was a bit of a setback.
But 150 odd years ago, the Victorians decided this didn't make sense for very small places, and quite a number of cities were no longer cities.
25 years ago, the current Queen rode to the rescue and gave St David's its city status back. And this man, who first chanced upon St David's 37 years ago, has been marking its quirky status with a very special pledge.
Well, basically what I start doing with portraits from life is just do a very brief outline of the head.
Because Graham Hurdwood has vowed to paint portraits of every single one of the city's 1,800 residents, plus a few outsiders for the hell of it.
Focus on the eyes, which are obviously a very important part of one's psyche, I think, one's soul. And then that's the focal point, and that just comes through.
Originally a landscape artist, he started doing portraits 14 years ago, but it was only 5 years ago he undertook the mammoth task to do the whole population and then some. He's done 600 so far.
Well, the initial project was painting, say, 100 portraits and having them as one big image. And so it'd be like a big painting. And then I just thought, if doing 100, I could do 1,000. And then I thought, well, the population of St David's, it's not far off that. And so I just came up, I just thought the idea was the city of portraits. It sounded quite nice, and I thought I'd just try and do it.
Did you work out how long it would take you?
No.
There are probably more art galleries than anything else in St David's, although in the case of Graham's place, it's also a studio and his living quarters too. It's a real one-man and his dog operation at the New Street Gallery. His models, however, see it all as a therapeutic exercise as much as anything else.
Well, I've quite enjoyed it really, because I'm a very busy mum, studying, working in a cafe, doing my jewellery. So for me just to sit down, it's a bit of time out really, a bit of time for reflection.
It's a mammoth task for Graham, and the plan is to exhibit the first 800 to 1,000 portraits in the cathedral.
What are you actually achieving by doing this?
A bit of social history, I think. Somebody's described it as. For me personally, it's integrating more and more with the community.
Do people ever complain about the way you've depicted them?
I think people have been slightly shocked. Somebody said you're possibly a bit jowly there. It doesn't matter what age you depict somebody, you still see an inner beauty.
Oh, and guess what? A few days later, I got this through email. I'm now an honorary citizen of St David's. But I don't look like that, do I?